It is tradition here on my channel to always end the year by celebrating the best synths and music tech of the year.
Welcome to Bobeats Best Synths and Music Gear Award Show.
But it's also a chance for us to unite the online synth and music tech community and geek out about the gear that we spend so much time with. And here to help me celebrate, I've invited a bunch of friends to share their favorite gear of the year.
Hi there! What's up everyone? My name is Matthew, aka EasyBot.
Hello, I'm Robin from Modular.
My name is Accurate.
I'm Synth.
I'm David from Soundwave Music.
I'm Justin, aka Turbo Tambourine.
Hey guys, I'm JT.
Hi, my name is Evan Belanger, aka Miles Away.
Hey Bo, thanks for having me.
Hey everyone, Travarsi here.
Hello Bo.
Hey, this is Matt Lowry.
Humbug.
Now let's wind back the clock and recap last year's winners. Budget Synth of the Year was awarded to the Dreadbox NYX. Newcomer of the Year went to the Metal Fetishist. Hardware Update of the Year went to the SP404 Mark II. Hardware Effect of the Year went to the Basel Time Plus. Best Eurorack Modules was awarded to Plinky Synth, Bib Effects, Dobos, T12, Befako Oniroy, and Befako Bandit. Groovebox of the Year was awarded to the amazing M8 Model 2. Best Synthesizer under $1,000 to the versatile Korg Multipoly. And while there was fierce competition in the Synth over €1,000 category, the Super Gemini from UDO was awarded Best Flagship Synth of the Year. And this year's award show would not have been possible without the help from the music gear store Synths. They focus on gear from smaller indie manufacturer, the hidden gems, the golden nuggets, and we've teamed up for a big synth giveaway this year. You have the chance to win a Svenergizer Eurorack filter, a Dreadbox Raindrops, Dreadbox Darkness, or a Dreadbox Typhoon. So it's a massive giveaway and all you have to do is go and follow them on Instagram and Facebook. Now it's finally time to hand out that first award.
Best Sampler of the Year.
This has really been a year of samplers. Electron released their Tonework, Ten Music dropped their Bento, and Akai released a new MPC. And Teenage Engineering, well, they did another reskin of their KO2. And here to present the runner-up in the sampler category is a friend of mine, and he will take you on a whimsical journey.
Hey guys, I'm JT.
First, Bo, thank you for having me. It is a pleasure and an honor. Let's talk about some stuff. It's 2025, and I think the best sampler of the year should go to 1010 Music's Bento. Why do I think that? Well, let's talk about what it's not. It's not like the most powerful thing in the world. It's got, a CPU. It's trying, little engine that could. There's some stuff in the background that's pretty beefy. But this guy is a utility that I love. And it also has bridged the gap between sampling and looping in a way that maybe my little pea brain just didn't pick up on this over the last 20 years. And one of the things that I just, didn't realize that when I was looping something in the past, because I'm layering stuff, I was like, well, that's sampling. And then, when I'm sampling something, it's kind of a loop. I just didn't think about it that way. When you just record something in the background, right? And it's just gonna change when I'm done recording.
When you just record something in the background, right? And it's just gonna change when I'm done recording. When you just record something in the background, right? And it's just gonna change when I'm done recording. When you just record something in the background, right? And it's just gonna change when I'm
talking
done
to myself, and I'm just gonna keep doing it.
And I'm just gonna keep doing it. And I'm just gonna keep doing it. And I'm just gonna keep doing it. And I'm just gonna keep doing it. And I'm just gonna keep doing it. And I'm just gonna keep doing it. And I'm just gonna keep doing it. And I'm just gonna keep doing it. And I'm just gonna keep doing it. And I'm just gonna keep doing it. And I'm just gonna keep doing it. And I'm just gonna keep doing it. And I'm just gonna keep doing it. And I'm just gonna keep doing it. And I'm just gonna keep doing it. And I'm just gonna keep doing it. And I'm just gonna keep doing it. And
I could do this all day, baby. You can save these loops as samples. You can use them for whatever. You can just keep you put an LFO to the hoo-ha and then it's gonna whoop-wop. It's got options. Don't we all? But I love it. So 2025, I'm Team Bento. Back to you, Bo. Ooh.
While the Bento shows a lot of promise, it still needs a little bit more work to feel complete, and given the competition in this category, it really fought an uphill battle. And now let's talk about the winner of Best Sampler of the Year. Just kidding. And here to talk more about it is a good friend of mine from Sweden.
Okay, so the best music tech, once again, one of those award shows. Cool. Thanks for doing this, Bo. Thanks for including me. My name is Accurate. I run this YouTube channel called Accurate Beats. Check it out. It's kind of cool. And this year's best sampler, hands down, kind of an easy choice, to be honest, even though there are options and alternatives, because of this guy right here. And this is Akai's MPC Live 3. Obviously an upgrade from the MPC Live 2, but such a huge step forward. This is just something completely different, even though it looks a little bit similar. This is a whole new generation in the MPC lineup. It's not only that this version has a better CPU and more RAM, it also has a brand new clip matrix that makes things easier for sequencing, a built-in step sequencer, and also drum pads with 4 different sections where you can assign articulations or different samples altogether. Now, I make a lot of sample-based beats, right? And an MPC has been a great tool for stuff like that ever since the late 80s. But now, with this newer generation of the MPCs, Akai is developing this into something that's way closer to an actual digital audio workstation in a standalone format. It's also getting a lot of updates, bringing even more functionality and more instruments to it over time. This was also the year we saw an actual plugin from Native Instruments being native on the MPC platform. I couldn't see that one coming, but I'm grateful, it works, and it's really cool. I know it sounds kind of corny, but to me, the MPC Live 3 is a little bit of a Swiss Army knife for music production in general, and not only for beat making. Make no mistake. And all of those additions, plus like 1,000 more that I don't have time to talk about, makes this one the best sampler of 2025. Again, thanks a lot for having me, and Bosse, ta hand om familjen, ha det gott, ciao!
Best Controller of the Year.
This year we saw the release of the Launch Control XL Mark III, which is arguably one of the best value for your money MIDI controllers out there, and it's my go-to recommendation for anybody who needs a solid MIDI controller for their synth setup. But there has been one other MIDI controller that has truly made a splash this year. It goes beyond being just a MIDI controller, it's an instrument in its own right, and Best MIDI Controller of the Year goes to Drop from Neuzeit Instruments.
Hi there, Middle-aged Synthesis here, and my pick for Best New MIDI Controller of 2025 is the Neuzeit Drop. The reason is simple. It takes one of my favorite functions from the Octatrack, and not only did it make it better, it allows me to use it on any of my synths. Let me briefly explain. This is the Electron Octatrack, and one of its coolest features is being able to mangle sounds by messing around with multiple parameters at once by assigning them to a saved state called a scene. With this fader, you can continuously morph those parameters between scenes A and B, which results in a goldmine of happy accidents in the land in the middle, as well as being a powerful tool for live playing, like creating build-ups and drops by playing with filter cutoffs and track volumes. Problem is, the Octatrack can only do that with its own sounds, but you can't use scenes on external synths and morph parameters through MIDI CCs. Enter the Drop. Drop allows you to set up 20 banks of 20 scenes, or snapshots as they are called here, and you can map them to any external synth parameters you want. Here on my OPXY, I've mapped Drop to the master EQ on my main mixer, as well as a few synth parameters, track volumes, and mutes. Just like in the Octatrack, you can fade between scenes manually with this knob, but the real genius of Drop is in its jump and drop functions. Jumps are triggered by selecting selecting a snapshot, and the time it takes for a transition to take place is controlled with this knob I mentioned before. That means a jump from one snapshot to another can either be immediate or you can stretch it out. The drop, on the other hand, is a jump that can be pre-programmed to set off at a desired moment, but will switch snapshots immediately. This means, for example, that you can have it set off every 4 bars so you can tweak parameters without a care in the world, knowing drop will get you back to the safety zone at the end of every 4-bar loop. You can also chain snapshots to be triggered in a specific order, so you can essentially plan out entire songs with transitioning parameters. It's truly one of the most impressive non-synthesizer pieces of hardware that I've encountered in my music gear journey, and I'm really glad that this thing got made. Thanks, Bo, for having me again, and thank you so much for watching. See ya!
Best hardware update.
Companies supporting their gear with updates that bring new functionality is fantastic, and this year we've seen a couple of standout hardware updates. For example, the Microkorg 2 got a big update that enabled loading custom effects, among other things. And the Play Plus from Polygene has also been getting a lot of love, adding a whole new synth engine to it. And this year we are giving the Best Hardware Update award to a company that has continuously supported their gear and brought a much wished for and needed update to one of their most beloved products. An update which fundamentally makes this sampler even more useful.
What's up, everyone? My name's Matthew, aka EasyBot. Bo, thank you for having me on this lovely panel of synth nerds. My favorite update to any piece of hardware has got to be the update to the Digitakt 2. Christmas came early in June of 2025 when Electron finally added the slice machine. The slice machine in the Digitakt functions very similarly to how the Electron Octatrack slice machine functions. Let me show you how it works. So you load up a machine on your Digitakt that's function sourced, select the slice machine, hit yes while still in the source menu. You can add slice points and just go in and start chopping samples up, using the arrow keys to add and remove slices. What's really cool is that you can hit yes and create a slice grid, and this makes things really simple and really fast. So I can just say, yes, let's create 16 slices. We have our slice points. We can listen to them like this, function yes. I have a drum break in here, of course, because what better example to use than a drum break? This is a 2-bar sample, and I created 16 slices on it, so I'm gonna use 2 pages on the Digitakt, and I wanna put these steps down evenly. And I'm gonna use this cool function that originally comes from the Octatrack called linear locks first. I'm gonna say create linear locks. What this does is it takes our slices and it places them linearly across the timeline. So trigger 1 has slice 1, trigger 2 has slice 2, and if you space them out evenly, it'll sound identical to the sample. What's so great about this is that you can make some slight changes to the samples and it will sound very musical. Here's it just playing normally. So now if I go into my step editor, I can just switch a slice around. So I'll use slice 11 instead of slice 10, slice 3 or 4 instead of slice 2. You'll notice this immediately, just changing these few slices. One of the cool functions that also comes from the Octatrack, one of my favorites, is create random locks. And this will just randomly distribute the slices across the grid. We can see that here too. You can just do this over and over again until you get something that you like. Again, thanks for having me on, and I'll see you guys later.
Best synthesizer under €1,000.
This year's winner of Best Synth under $1,000 might be slightly controversial. It's small in size, and the mini keys might fool you to think that it's not a serious contender in this category, but let me tell you, it punches well above its weight class. And here to present it is a fellow Swede who is in excellent form.
Hey everyone, I'm David from Soundwave Music. Bo, thank you so much for having me in this year's special. When I first heard about the Sequential Fourm, I hadn't yet formed my opinion about it. And I did what everybody else is doing, which is to watch their promo video. And that made me a bit skeptical, maybe? I promised there will be no more jokes, or maybe 1 or 2, or maybe 4 more jokes. I was skeptical because I'm used to having built-in effects in synths, and this has none of it. This is pure analog oscillators and filters, and polyphonic aftertouch. It's like having the best tomatoes and onions for your favorite Greek salad. But it's not really a Greek salad without some feta cheese and olive oil. So when I'm performing on this, I will be adding a little bit of delay and reverb. A lot of the expressiveness comes from the poly aftertouch. It responds differently to every key press. In this patch, I've set it to the oscillator frequency. But I'm not sure if it's just that. There's this other thing it does. These tiny movements in the oscillators, the way the tone shifts and reacts. I can't really put my finger on what it is. This patch was one of those moments where the synth basically told me what to play. The filter feedback does something with the sound that I haven't fully figured out how to control. And that's what made me fall in love with this sound. The Fourm is expressive in a way that feels almost conversational. It's like it has its own opinion. Many synths tend to push me into a producer mindset where the focus is on finishing making a track. On the Fourm, I enjoy just playing, just being in the moment, and that's quite rare for me. So now that I have formed my opinion about it, is it a synth for me? Sorry for the jokes, I just can't stop myself. I can honestly say that the Fourm surprised me. It just feels like a real instrument, which I know is such a weird thing to say about a real instrument, but I think you know what I mean. It feels like it has a soul. Perhaps it's also a synth for you. The patches that I played today, I'll share them on my Patreon as a free holiday gift. Bo will link them up somewhere in the description down below. With that said, thank you so much for listening. And Bo, thanks for including me. Happy holidays and a happy new year.
Best Hardware Effects Unit of the Year.
Every year there are so many interesting hardware effects pedal coming out, but it's rare to see other kinds of hardware effects units. The runner-up in the Best Hardware Effects category is both a hardware effects unit and a modular utilities box, the Stylophone DF-8. The DF-8 is a dual filter unit which also sports a reverb and a delay, and you can use it both to create sounds on it and also process external audio through it. But there has been one more really standout effects unit this year. It's not just an effects unit, but it's a really good hardware effects unit. So this year's winner of Best Hardware Effects, The Evil Pet by Endorphines.
Hey, this is Matt Lowry. Thanks for stopping by, and thank you to Bo for inviting me on to talk about the Endorphines Evil Pet. It's a granular effects pedal that can process incoming audio and create immense granular fields. It can also load any audio you've got on hand from the SD card. It allows you to play anything in its buffer polyphonically via MIDI. And it has a modulation system that's easy to assign. There's an onboard mic for capturing audio, or I like to use it as a modulation source with the envelope follower. Most importantly, whether it's used as a real-time audio processor or a standalone sound source, it sounds amazing, so I'm a big fan. Some really amazing effects units were released in 2025, but this one feels really special to me. So, thanks again for stopping by. I think I'll still be sitting here listening to this when the new year arrives. Bye-bye.
And while we are on the subject of effects, here is somebody who is in a little bit of a mood.
Christmas. Humbug. I thought it was about giving. Seems to be mostly about buying. Corporations shoving pink plastic pear trees down our partridges. And now here we are, contributing to the whole thing. Well, let me tell you about the pieces of plastic that I think we should buy. Buy. Actually, to be fair, probably one of the best pieces of plastic and PCBs is the Drummer Time, but that's not what I'm here to talk about. That's my favourite modular thing. But my actual favourite thing that came out in 2025 is actually this. No, it's not Ableton Live. It's this piece of software made by some little mom and pop company called Arteria. Here's a song that I wrote with it about the birth of my children. That, my friends. Pure Lo-Fi is a synthesizer not based on any one thing that does the thing that I wish all synthesizers did, which is marry samples with synthesis, but it also has textures built in. You have a sample layer, and here I have clarinets mixed with a granular thing. But you hear this forest rain? Oi, oi, oi. My favourite thing in here is group laugh. Mate. Honestly, if you told me in like 2024 that I would think the coolest thing ever was that there was a laugh track inside the noise generator of my synthesizer, I wouldn't have believed you. But actually, I think it's cool as shit. Like, seriously. That's just nuts. I love it. And I've made some sounds with this that have just powered tunes that I really like. It is vibey as hell. And I really like it. So, yeah, that's it. My favourite thing that's come out this year is actually a piece of software, it seems. I've actually written music with it. Don't talk about it. You're the first people I've told about it. I think it's great. Anyway, that's all. Merry Christmas. Go away. No, actually, lots of love to you and Merry Christmas. Bye.
Something that you might not know is that this year I have actually been hosting a local synth meetup called Halmstad Synth Society or Halmstad Synthsällskap. You can look us up over on Facebook or Instagram if you're ever in the neighborhood and want to hang out and talk about synths. And look who I found at our latest meetup. So I'm here with the guys behind the music store Uns, and I just wanted to ask, what is a favorite synthesizer for you guys this year?
That has to be the PPG.
What makes it so special?
The build quality, amazing. And sound, even beyond.
And for you, Christian?
PPG and the drop it's a fantastic machine.
What makes the drop so special?
It is noise by coincidence, I must say. Fun to play with, and it's a great live machine. Have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
And a lot of Uns.
Best Newcomer of the Year.
Over my 10 years as a synth YouTuber, it has been rare to see a new company that is coming out with a product that is this impressive and of this scale, like quite literally, because this thing it's huge. This year's Newcomer of the Year award goes to Reliq Instruments for their Reliq sequencer and Matrix mixer. It's a sequencer with 16 tracks as well as a matrix mixer with a breakout patch bay for audio routings. And it sports a huge display, which is one thing that truly sets it apart from the competition. And the firmware is solid, but it still lacks a few key functions such as drum tracks, for example, to truly rival something like the Oxy or the Hapax. But I do think that if they can manage to keep the updates coming, it could become one of the best sequencers on the market.
Best Drum Machine of the Year.
This year we've seen a couple of interesting drum machines. The year started with the cute Boom Chick from Create Audio. It's a collaboration with Pittsburgh Modular. We later saw the release of Hex Drum from America Synths, which is a powerhouse of a drum machine. But let's be absolutely real here. This year there can only be one true winner of Best Drum Machine.
There can be only one!
Best drum machine of 2025 is awarded to the Roland TR-1000. And here to present it is my good friend Travarsi.
Hey everyone, Travarsi here. Happy holidays, happy almost New Year. And yes, I know there's so many things to talk about. It's hard to narrow it down in just like 1 or 2 minutes. So I wanted to pick something that works for me in improvisational live performance. It's subtle yet super effective. And that is playing with the variations. What I like to do is actually play one variation while programming another.
So here we are in front of the TR-1000 and we're gonna just take a look at one pattern, but using a couple different variations, like I mentioned. So let's play, turn up the kick, here's some hi-hats, but we're gonna focus on the low tom channel, and we're on variation C. So right now I'm just gonna jump to G, and you can hear that there's nothing on the tom channel, right? So let's go back to C, but this time let's hold down the track record button and hold G. And now even though we are listening to variation C, we're now gonna program G. So I'm gonna do this, maybe I wanna do that. I don't know, let's try something different. Let's add some accents there. Okay, we have accents on some of the traits. All right, so let's switch. And there you have it. You can hear the low tom has switched up. Let's go back to C. And then back to G. So there you go. I mean, you get the idea. It's something so simple, but I feel like this is something that might be overlooked, but it's super effective. Happy holidays to all of you, and peace. Take care.
Top 3 Eurorack modules of the year.
There is so much going on in the world of Eurorack that it's hard to just pick one winner in this category. Therefore, every year I invite a couple of friends to talk about their favorite modules of the year and why they think they are great.
Hey everyone, hey Bo, I'm Justin, aka Turbo Tambourine. Thanks for having me. Bo asked me to pick a module that I thought was exceptional for this year, and I picked this one. This is Shakmat Griffins Clause, a streamlined 4-channel performance tool that offers attenuation, offset, and mixing. These are all essential things for modular synths. They allow you to control your signals, audio, or control voltage, also known as CV. And the beauty of modular is how many things you can control with that CV. It's like having multiple sets of hands. And on Griffins Clause, you control these things with the sliders. We can patch something into a channel and use attenuation to turn down the signal, like attenuating this ARP sequence that's going into a pitch quantizer. If we don't patch anything in, we can use that channel for offset. It's like taking the whole sequence and transposing it up or down in pitch. And we have mixing. Channels 1 and 2 are being mixed together because we don't have anything patched in to output 1. This is called cascade mixing. Then channels 3 and 4 are mixing audio in the same way. That's the synth sound and the drums. But here's this module's superpower. You can record the fader movements up to 32 bars. Not steps, bars. And you can do it based on time signatures. 4/4, 5/4, 7/4, 9/4. And you have a gate output for channels 1 and 4 that you can set to every time the slider moves. So if we did that here, you all of a sudden have control over your gates and pitches at the same time. You can also set any of the channels as smooth or stepped voltage. So Griffins could create loops of modulation, pitch sequences, volume automation, and a bunch more. That's also you can make stuff way more dynamic, like this. So that's Griffins Clause. It takes basic functions used all the time in modular, combines them, and adds automation loops, all while keeping this patch programmable idea that's really at the heart of modular. So good. Thanks again, Bo, for asking me to take part. Bye, everyone. Happy patching.
My next guest is a Eurorack connoisseur and the synth dad that we all wished we had. And fun fact, he actually flew over from where he lives to Sweden to congratulate me on my 40th birthday.
In Halmstad lives Nurmi, it's true, where synths are more shiny than new. But while twiddling his knobs, he forgets all his jobs and just flips his hair for the view.
Hi Bo, and thanks for having me on. And hello everybody, I'm Synth. I'm delighted to be on Bo's end of year show to talk to you about a module that I have found to be the best Eurorack module, in my opinion, this year. And it's the Bohm. It's a kick drum module from Ohmforce. I saw it earlier this year at Superbooth. I was really impressed then in the demo I saw, and ever since I've had it in my rack, it hasn't stopped impressing me. You've got a core module here, which gives you the kick. You've got a module here, which gives you performance effects like DJ filter or distortion. And you have a module over here called Groove, which gives you additional kind of techno rumble long tail sounds that you can manipulate. It can get pretty crazy, especially if you start to modulate it. That's a quick overview of Bohm. I hope you enjoyed it. It's certainly been one of my favorite modules to play and perform live with, and I've used it out live as well. If you make any sort of club or dance music, maybe this is a module you might want to give a look at. Anyway, thanks Bo for having me on, and back to you.
Thank you so much, Synth. And my next guest is a man with impeccable taste when it comes to shirts.
Hello, I'm Robin from Molten Modular, and Bo has very kindly invited me along to tell you about something cool. 2 minutes worth of Digitakt is what you're going to get from Mzourack. It's a fantastic 4-channel trigger sequencer that's immediately playable and graspable right upon the front panel, where you just pound away at these buttons in order to generate your patterns. None of this long business of trying to put in steps and bits and pieces, just get to it. It can trigger drums, it can trigger envelopes, it can trigger whatever the heck you like. Just build it in to your system and flow it out through everything else. A little bit like this. The Digitakt, more fun than you could possibly imagine, trapped inside a 4-channel trigger sequencer. Now go make some tunes.
Budget Synthesizer of the Year.
I think that 2025 hasn't really been the year of affordable gear. I think that's a sign of the times that we live in, that we haven't seen that many budget-friendly synth releases this year. Prices are going up across the board, and I'm not sure it's gonna get better anytime soon. But there's been a couple of interesting low-cost synths this year, and first I want to mention the runner-up in this category, the Donner L1. It is a sound-wise faithful clone of the SH-101, but with an original design that adds an extra envelope and also sports a pretty good sequencer with a decent screen. But even though the L1 is good, it's not winning in this category because we had a late entry that almost missed the deadline because it was released late in November. But we just had to feature it because this year's winner of Best Budget-Friendly Synth is the Waldorf Protein. The Waldorf Protein is this really small 8-voice polyphonic wavetable synthesizer that is based on a classic synth called the Microwave. And one very unique feature is that it actually has 4 layers, which means that you can stack sounds on top of each other, creating interesting and very complex sounds. Also making it one of the most affordable 4-part multi-timbral synthesizers out there. I mean, come on, it sounds really good.
Best Synthesizer, over €1,000.
While there hasn't been quite as many flagship synths this year as last year, because last year was pretty crazy in the over $1,000 segment, we have seen quite a few synths over $1,000 this year. Last year's winner in this category was the Super Gemini from UDO, and they have a new synth, which I'm not entirely sure how you pronounce. I guess it's Domino, but it does sound really good and seems very interesting. This year we also saw a really interesting new synth that mixes 80s digital sound with analog filters, and here to talk more about it is one of the OGs of synth YouTube.
Hey Bo, thanks for having me and season's greetings to you all. What were my highlights from this year? Well, it's been tricky, isn't it? There's been a lot going on. It's got to be the Suono Bono Polivera. I know I saw that for the first time at Bristronica and it just blew me away. Really like the sort of vibe of it. 6 voices, great effects, really interesting hybrid analog and digital. Just something a bit different, I suppose. Yeah, really like that one.
But flagship synthesizer doesn't have to mean like big and bombastic in terms of its sound and size. It can be something unique and different.
Hello, Bo. Thanks for having me. My nomination for the best synth over $1,000 is obviously going to be something really normal, conventional, not esoteric at all. Just kidding, it's the Polygene 2 from Gene Synths. I've always been drawn to instruments which have a strong identity, and increasingly these days, those with a playing surface which doesn't adhere to some of the more well-established designs, like, for instance, physical keyboards or sequencers which involve buttons. The Polygene 2 was a love at first sight instrument for me. From the first demo I saw of it, the whole thing from the sound to the way the player interacts with it, and let's be honest here, the look of it, grabbed me and I knew I had to buy one. It's a 24-voice, completely analog polysynth. Each voice is freely tunable and you can design the oscillator wave shape of 12 of them. But the main event here is the playing surface. The exposed circuitry is not just for looks. As a player, you're encouraged to explore how the synth reacts as you essentially circuit bend the instrument through your own skin. The transistors along the top form the VCOs and you can incorporate them into other voices by bridging them. There are clustered traces where all of the voices travel through the synth and you can touch them to bring in soft, singing, sympathetic drones. If you want to hear noise, touch traces near the noise modulation knob. There's so much to explore and it's always a surprising and tactile experience. In a world where a lot of instruments coming out can feel a little safe, it's so exciting to me that a synth like the Polygene 2 exists. Here's to 2026 being an even weirder year.
Another synth we have to talk about this year is the Dreadbox Artemis. It's a 6-voice analog polysynth with great effects. And here to demo it is my friend Jay Hosking. while the Dreadbox Artemis is a fantastic synth, there is one other synth which has not gotten the attention it deserves. It did have a little bit of a rocky start when it first launched, because many of the features it should have was missing, and I was honestly quite worried about its future. But in Sweden, we have this saying that if you are waiting for something great, you're never really waiting too long. I know it might be an unpopular thing to say in this time and age of like instant gratification, and here to present this year's flagship synth is a good friend of mine.
Hi, my name is Devin Belanger, aka Miles Away, and this year's award for Best Synth over $1,000 goes to the supercritical Redshift 6. Now, we are truly living in a second golden age of synths, so with that being said, it takes a lot for something in the analog realm especially to come out and be considered innovative or new, and that's exactly what Supercritical have managed to do with the Redshift 6. Firstly, forget about your standard 2 oscillator per voice architecture. This synthesizer has 6 voices with a whopping 16 oscillators per voice, making it the only analog synth I know that can do the classic super saw sound without any digital trickery. This synth keeps adding more and more, and they aren't done yet. They recently added 24-bit effects which sound great, reverb, delay, and chorus. However, my favorite feature has to be the different filter, character, and drive options, which I've never really seen before, but it emulates, all in the analog realm, the response of different filter types from famous brands like Moog, Korg, Roland, etc. Listen to how much this same patch changes just by changing the character profile. This synth is also able to be played paraphonically and is 6-part multi-timbral, meaning you can do a full song with just one Redshift 6. All in all, in a synth market where I think it's pretty hard to stand out, the Redshift 6 manages to do several unique things, and the most important thing, it sounds great. Happy holidays, everyone, and thanks as always for having me, Bo. I'll see you all next time.
I have no idea how the green screen worked out for this year's award show, but you let me know down in comments what you think about that. And yeah, this was this year's award show. I started making the awards back in 2017. The first year it was just me talking about my personal choices, but I didn't really like that. So over the coming years, I started to involve the community more and more, to the point where, yeah, it feels like we have something fun here that we can do every year. And yeah, you guys they seem to enjoy it. So I'll keep making the videos if you want to see them. And the goal with these award show videos are twofold. Firstly, it's to highlight and celebrate great music gear from this year. And secondly, it's a way for me to bring the community together and make a fun collab. And since I started my channel 10 years ago, we've gone through a pandemic and we've gone through some really tough years together, and I do believe that the need for friendship and community has never been greater. So I want to thank you, all of you who are here watching. I want to thank the guests for just being so great to work with, and also Synths for sponsoring today's video. So make sure you go and check them out, because they also support the synth community, because they focus so much on gear from smaller manufacturers. And also do not miss the big synth giveaway. And as always, have a great end of the year. Talk to you soon. That's a wrap!